Alright, so this is Deus Ex. One thing I would say when it comes to Verizon, like if you get like huge drops, your network kicked you out. You can't connect to the network if there's like huge broadband drops. That's due to the amount of people that are either on or due to the traffic that's going in Verizon at the time, which shouldn't have anything to do with your home networking, but apparently it does. Um, that's one of the issues with digital Verizon rather than LAN. You always have to deal with the bullshit that comes with digital. So if there's a drop, hopefully it's not that deep of a drop. I want to do at least 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes of this demo. So this is Deus Ex Mankind Divided. And I do demo days at least once a month. And there are two demos that are going to be done today. One is Deus Ex Mankind Divided, which I've never played. I've played the original, but I've never played the second one, or Fall or Go. So I've only played one Deus Ex. So this is my second jump into Deus Ex. Um, the second demo I'm going to play today is Mystic Ocean. I'm going to see what that's all about. And if you're looking for a demo for Deus Ex, there is none anytime soon. This will be played either in July or in August of 2023. Doom is going to be played in June, and in May, Dead Island 2 is going to be played along with Horizon. So during that process, I'm going to still be playing Warframe. Warframe will always be the standard, but the games that are other than Warframe that are going to be played during those months are going to be, once Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4 is over, come mid-May, the pickup from that will be Dead Island 2 and Horizon Burning Shores, and those will be done in June. And the pickup from that in June will be Doom mid-June, coming towards the end of June, because Doom is the only thing that's going to be played in June, so that'll be done in June. In July and August is free area, so that's where something like Deus Ex will drop. So for right now, I'm just checking out the demo because I do demos at least once a month. So this is Deus Ex demo, and the other one will be Mystic Ocean demo. So maybe I'll go right now. So just in case there's a drop within my broadband, I could get at least a good 20 minutes of this and see what this is about. Because I've never played Mankind this gameplay to see if it's good. From its home screen all the way to the mechanics of the gameplay. And you'll decide what is good based on that. Because that's what I'm doing as well. So let me just get into it. Another thing I'm going to mention is Deus Ex Mankind Divided is actually the sixth game in the series. The sixth. So if you see Deus Ex Mankind Divided and you think it's either the second or third or even, you know, the fourth in the series, no, there have been two Deus Ex way back in the past. Deus Ex, the original Deus Ex, and then Deus Ex 2. Um, and then there's the Deus Ex I believe, when they first started to experiment with cell animation at a deeper level. Fallout, and then there's Deus Ex Go, or Deus Ex Fall. I keep thinking about Fallout. Deus Ex Fall, and then there's Deus Ex Go, and then there's Deus Ex Human Revolution, and then there's Deus Ex Mankind Divided. So there was those three Deus Ex, and Deus Ex 1, Deus Ex 2, then there's Deus Ex Fall, then there's Deus Ex Go, and then there's Human Revolution, and then there's this Deus Ex. So Human Revolution, from what I've heard, is not good, but based on the developers learning from their mistakes from Human Revolution, how people say it sucks, this is supposed to be the better version of this, because Human Revolution basically got anywhere from about a 6 to about a 5 on Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, so on and so forth. But this one apparently got about anywhere from a 7.8 to about 8.8, or 88% and 72%. So between 72% and 88%, you could do the ratio math between those, divide those together, or at least balance those based on the scale rating. And this game will come in probably at about a solid 8, or 8.1 out of 10, or 82%, or 80%, or if you're doing the 1 out of 5, or 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, I would say this is about a 3, a 3 out of 5 game. So that means that's good. Typically, fantasy and sci-fi and horror aren't like the most popular in genre when it comes to gaming, except maybe a little bit of sci-fi now. Same as comic books. But I would say no. I would say horror in games is more popular than sci-fi is currently. But sci-fi horror, that's a different story. Um, this is just pure cyberpunk sci-fi. So for it to be in the 8 category, that's a success. That's like making not just a regular good cake, but a very good cake. Not a great cake, not a stupendous cake, but a very good cake. You make an average cake, or you make an above average cake. This is an above average cake. It's not a fantastic cake, but it tastes better than, you know, how your mom would make the cake. It tastes like a professionally done cake that you buy in a store. So professionally done, anything that falls into the 3 or into the 8 category is it's been done well. It's not fantastic, but it's been done well. So for the fact that this is in the 8 category, it means it's good. So just saying that right now. Deus Ex Mankind Divided is the 6th game in the series, and it's based on many critics. It's done pretty decent compared to Human Revolution, which was kind of a failure. And that's the reason why I purchased. Because 1, it's been a while for Deus Ex, and 2, this was able to pull it off at the last moment and be a better version of the failure that came before it. So this Deus Ex Mankind Divided has 2 stories attached to it, or actually has many stories attached to it. Since this is a purchase from PlayStation Store, you could get the Deus Ex Mankind Divided edition, and that one-time edition comes with Human Revolution, the game that came before this, and side stories in the Deus Ex world as well. So not just Human Revolution or the day Mankind Divided, but side stories as well. So you could play those games also attached towards Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. So I basically got, for a purchasing price of 20 $27 or $25, I think this was like $27, and then total and tax was about $32, something like that. That was like over a month ago, um, about a month or so ago. It was available and I saw it. I never got around to it, so it's been sitting in my library for quite some time. But that's a good purchase price, not for Deus Ex that came out years ago, but for a Deus Ex that have two attached games to it and side stories. So that's very good. So that's already a good start. Now we'll see whether it's 8 rating or 88% rating or it's 85% rating or 79% rating, if those ratings are true based on this demo, just the demo itself. So I'll just do it. Yeah, so here it's telling me exactly what's going on. If I press down on this button, it says it's going to give me a little recap of Human Revolution, the game that came before it. I could ignore it or I could go ahead. So I'm just going to give a little recap since I've never played Human Revolution.
The year was 2027. Advances in biotechnology were helping people improve their physical and mental abilities to an amazing degree. Provided, of course, they had enough money. A new breed of people was emerging, half human, half machine. And in Detroit, at least, not everyone was happy to see it. I'd just landed a job as head of security at Sarif Industries, a cutting-edge biotech firm. David Sarif himself handpicked me for the job, said he needed me to keep his people safe. My ex, Megan Reed, was one of them. Brilliant neuroscientist, Megan had found a way to make augmentation safe and affordable for everyone. All she had to do was present her research to Congress. But the night before her big meeting, my security measures failed. A team of Black Op mercenaries stormed into Sarif headquarters, massacring everyone in sight. 3 of the mercs were heavily augmented walking tanks. Their mission? Take out Megan and her team. I tried to stop them, but their leader tossed me through a plate glass wall. Last thing I heard as his bullet slammed into my brain was Megan's dying scream. I should have died with her. Only I didn't. High-end military-grade enhancements saved my life. The best augmentation Sarif's money could buy. It took me half a year to get a feel for her. Should have taken longer. But 6 months into my recovery, Sarif Industries was attacked again. This time, by a radical group of pro-human purists. Violent, militant, and fanatically opposed to human augmentation. They claimed to be members of Humanity Front, a non-profit organization that wanted the UN to limit biotechnology research. The thugs broke into Sarif's factory and found machinists working overtime on a top-secret military augment called the Typhoon. Sarif sent me to retrieve it, and when I did, I found one of the so-called purists next to it, wired with cerebral implants, trying to download its classified specs. Obviously, something more was going on. The AUG killed himself before I could question him. Sarif ordered me to dig deeper, so with the help of Frank Pritchard, Sarif's head of cybersecurity, I did. Turns out a second hacker had been controlling the AUG's actions from somewhere off-site. Pritchard and I tracked his signal to a secret FEMA internment camp in Detroit. The Black Op mercenaries were there. The same mercs who'd left me for dead 6 months before. Figured they'd try again when they saw me. Wasn't so easy for him this time. I took out the tank named Barrett. Even got him to give me a new lead. A penthouse apartment in China. Of course, we both knew it would be a trap in the end. Hengsha Island, China. Home to a city so crowded, they had to build a second city on top of it. Trying to find clues in Hengsha wouldn't be easy. Lucky for me, I wasn't alone. Farida Malik, Sarif Industries' ace pilot, had lived in Hengsha before. A good person to have on your side. She knew enough about the place to get me around. Malik dropped me in the lower city, close to the penthouse Barrett had told me about. Bell Tower Associates, a private security firm under contract to the Chinese government, had agents tossing the suite when I arrived. Just not for the reason I'd been expecting. Turns out the man who lived there was a criminal hacker named Van Bruggen. The same hacker who'd been remotely controlling the AUG in Sarah's factory. Van Bruggen's panicked decision to force the man to commit suicide had been a mistake. Now his mercenary partners were gunning for him, and I needed to find him before they did. Locating Van Bruggen meant playing nice with the Triads, Hengsha's organized crime lords. They had the hacker holed up inside a low-rent capsule hotel. By the time I found him, Van Bruggen had no qualms giving up the woman who hired him. Zhao Yunru, president of the Taiyang Medical Corporation. According to Van Bruggen, Zhao wanted to monopolize the augmentation industry and had hired Black Op mercenaries to destabilize her competition. Sarif Industries was at the top of her list. To prove this, I needed to get inside TYM and grab a surveillance hologram off a server. I suspected Van Bruggen was hiding something when he told me this, but nothing could have prepared me for what I saw. Megan wasn't dead. She and her 4 best researchers had been kidnapped, spirited away somewhere while their kidnappers made it look like they were dead. Desperate to learn more, I confronted Zhao in her penthouse. She claimed to be a pawn in a bigger plan, and hinted at a group so powerful it controlled global interests at a whim. Then she slipped into a panic room and hit the alarm, forcing me to make a very quick exit. I figured Zhao was lying, but part of her confession made sense. David Sarif had been worried about his people. So worried, he'd required all of them to have subdermal locator devices surgically implanted. The GPOs would have been broadcasting the day of the attack. But Zhao said a single call to Picus, the world's leader in global 24-hour satellite news, had turned those signals off. I needed to fly to Picus headquarters in Montreal if I wanted to learn more. Eliza Cassan, Picus Communications' First Lady of News. Malik thought I was reaching when I told her Eliza was involved in this. The world's most famous news anchor, working with a mercenary hit squad. But when I confronted Cassan in her office, she freely admitted to jamming Detroit's satellites the night Megan's team had been taken. Said she's just been following her commands. I suspected she wanted to say more. But Black Op mercenaries showed up looking to shut us both down. And just like that, the Eliza I'd been talking to disappeared. The Mercs were led by an augmented killer I'd crossed paths with twice before. Fedorova, a woman who'd made silence her best friend. She waited for me to track Eliza's transmission to a secret server room underneath the Picus complex, then jumped me from behind. A deadly fight ensued. I made sure she never moved silently again. With Fedorova down, and no one left to keep Eliza quiet, she reappeared. Turns out Picus's First Lady of News wasn't a lady at all. She was a sophisticated AI program, engineered to monitor data streams and control what people believed. Eliza told me the Mercs had brought in a Humanity Front doctor named Isaiah Sandoval to remove the scientist's implanted tracking devices while Detroit's satellites were down. She also told me to speak to David Sarif if I wanted to learn more. By the time Malik and I got back to Detroit, Tensions between normal and augmented citizens had reached a flashpoint. Riots were breaking out in several cities. The UN was being urged to intervene. Seraph was trying hard to convince Hugh Darrow, the inventor turned philanthropist who'd once been a leading proponent of enhancement technologies, to help stop a possible regulatory vote. Seraph had a lot riding on Darrow. Megan's discovery would have given millions of people the chance to evolve beyond their normal human abilities, and at the same time catapulted Seraph Industries to the top of the Fortune 500. According to Seraph, Megan's kidnappers knew this, and didn't want people evolving unless they controlled how it was done. He called his enemies Illuminati, and urged me to keep searching. Determined to do so, I tracked down Sandoval via America's most outspoken augmentation opponent, Bill Taggart, Sandoval's boss and founder of Humanity Front. Sandoval admitted to operating on Megan's team when I confronted him, but said he hadn't removed their GPLs. He'd merely switched them to a different frequency. Pritchard was able to trace one of the signals to China. Malik and I immediately took off in pursuit. Unfortunately, the Illuminati were one step ahead. Ambushed. Shot out of the sky by Bell Tower Associates, seconds after entering Hengsha's airspace. Malik's piloting skills saved me. After a tense and bitter struggle, I escaped into Lower Hengsha. The tracking signal I was following led straight to the Triads, or more specifically, to the augmented arm of Tong Si-hung, leader of a gang of augmentation harvesters. Tong said they'd taken the arm off a corpse, which Bell Tower had left at their door, meaning at least one of Seraph's scientists was dead. Maybe not the rest of them, though. Tong pointed me to a port used for human trafficking and helped me slip aboard a Bell Tower ship. We were sailing to Rifleman Bank Station, a military base in the South China Sea. Bell Tower was holding kidnapped civilians as prisoners there, and using them to perfect the Hyron Project, a human-computer interface that left most of its test subjects dead. My search for Megan would have ended then, if not for a mysterious ally named Quinn. In exchange for my help exposing Bell Tower, he slipped me aboard a second ship headed to Singapore, and an Illuminati-run biotech facility called Omega Ranch. 3 of Seraph's scientists were there, forced by their captors to create a technology capable of remotely shutting down augmented abilities. Thanks to an emergency recall notice issued by the World Health Organization, millions of people all over the world already had the biochip installed. With the help of the scientists, I tracked Megan to a private section of the ranch. There, I ran into Yaron Namir, the walking tank who'd put a bullet in my brain the first time we met. He'd teamed up with Zhao and was hoping to catch me off guard. But their little ambush didn't work. I found Megan in a suite belonging to Hugh Darrow, the billionaire philanthropist who'd Seraph had called on for help. Darrow had convinced her to go along with the biochip plan by promising to sabotage the tech. As she was explaining this, Darrow appeared in a global broadcast, telling the world that augmentations would be the death of mankind. Then he activated the biochips to prove his point. All over the world, augmented people flew into a killing frenzy. Darrow had betrayed everyone, and it was up to me to set things right. To do it, I had to reach Panchaea, a massive installation in the Arctic Ocean. As I raced through corridors built by an all-augmented workforce, I saw death and destruction firsthand. By the time I shut down Darrow's broadcast, I knew the damage he'd done. Still, humanity's future remained unclear. How would the world react to this sabotage? Would people ever regain their faith in augmentations again? What would be the Illuminati's next move? Only time will give us the answers. once thought I could save the world. Now look at it.
In yet another augmented terror attack, 251 passengers aboard Sister Airlines Flight 451 were killed when an augmented passenger broke into the plane's cockpit and ruthlessly butchered its flight crew. Details recovered from the black box recorder suggest that the man may have been suffering flashbacks to the AUG incident. That horrible day 2 years ago when augmented people all over the world flew into a psychotic killing spree, causing the greatest loss of life in recent history.
Sometimes, you just have to let go.
Agent Jensen, am I gonna have a problem with you?
To this man, an arms dealer named Shepard. He's ex-Bell Tower, one of the Special Forces commanders who disappeared during the incident.
And he's come out of hiding. That cannot be good.
It's not. He's selling weapons and military-grade augments to terrorists. Get in tight with the Jinn, an Iraqi smuggling cartel that's infected the Eastern Hemisphere like a plague. Last week, our arms dealer sent a message to the Jinn, offering to sell them a shitload of black market merchandise dirt cheap. They told Singh to handle the buy.
They're not gonna like it when Interpol disrupts their party. Sing's cover really that good?
It is right now. Picture inside.
Let me guess. Most of the laborers were augmented with heavy-duty industrial rigs. So when the incident hit, and they all went schizo, things got gruesome real fast.
And no one, except for some homeless junkies, have been inside the place ever since.
All right, I'm starting to get like a dip in my network, so this might not be a long one.
He sent the bulk of his Jinn crew to the penthouse levels to secure a vantage point. I want McCready's team to take up positions overlooking the atrium and make the arrest. Jensen, you're going in solo from the roof.
My objectives?
Keep the Jinn from joining the party. As far as we can tell, only one route connects the atrium to the penthouse level. A halfway decent elevator shaft. Here. I want you to block access to it.
Fine. Just cut me loose.
Do you plan on relying solely on your augments for this one? I'd recommend taking a little hardware, just to be sure.
We've got a UC in there. Might be easier to maintain his cover if he's not the only one still breathing when this is done.
Smart thinking.
Yeah, but if anything does happen to him, you'll be telling his wife. After you get out of the hospital, of course.
What about range? There's lots of wide spaces and high ceilings in there, but a number of tight and constrained rooms too.
So it's a crapshoot, really.
Never was one to play the odds. Give me something I can use up close.
You got it. One last thing, Jensen. Singh said the Jinn are using some sort of portable Wi-Fi device to boost communications. He's got a better chance of maintaining cover if you disable it.
I'll keep an eye out for it. But aren't we on the clock here? You said there's a sandstorm moving in.
There is, and we got the intel on this mission at the very last minute. So we're scrambling a little. If it comes to it, your #1 priority is keeping the Jinn out of that atrium.
Copy that.
Time to put away your heavy thoughts, gentlemen. We're approaching the target building.
You're up.
All right, so apparently, that was a good story, a good recap. I can't turn the volume down here, otherwise I would. But that was a good recap. So if you've never played Mankind Divided and you watch that recap, basically it's saying that Zhao was the one that started all this, but she worked for someone else, part of the Illuminati. And the Illuminati have been in the shadows since Deus Ex 1. And still, we don't know who they are, where they are, what their nationality is, if they're women, men, group of people, or just one person. What we do know is that Zhao was the original person that issued the kidnapping of his wife, possibly killing all the scientists, simply because she discovered a way to make biotech implantments, augmentations safe. And she wanted to be at the top of the food chain, and Sarif was their competitors. So in order for her to stay at the top, basic corporate greed, she did what she had to do. But apparently that's not the case. It was more like Illuminati wanted to stay at the top, and they used her company in order to force her to do what she had to do. So even though she wanted to stay at the top, it was really the puppet master pulling the strings of the puppet to do it. So Zhao is also to blame, as well as the Illuminati is to blame. And the mercenaries, well, they just hired guns. So take them out, boom. That's the end of that. The story goes a little deeper because anti-augmented human beings aren't as what they seem. They're against anyone who have augmentation, regular human beings, against anyone who's cyborg or have cybernetic implantation, basically standard human beings. But as you can see in Human Revolution and other games, that's not the case. So it's all bullshit. So what's really going on within anti-augmentation humans, factions, human factions, all set up all around the world against augmentation use. If they're really against it, and they're really basically militias and extremists, why would extremists and militias have augmented humans in them? That's why there's much more going on. Because if you are humans and you're militias and you're factions and you're extremists and you don't want any human being to ever have augmentations, you wouldn't in those organizations ever have people who are cybernetic organisms or have cybernetic implantations or augmented implantations. But yet they do. So there's a lot going on behind the screens that still hasn't been explained since Revolution and since Go. And the Illuminati has just been name dropped in past games, but they were never name dropped in the first game or the second, or at least from what I remember. So there's a lot going on. His wife was supposed to be dead, but his wife is alive. Certain people were supposed to be dead that got killed off in that lab, but they're alive. An organization he trusts is suspected to be part of the Illuminati, but not really. A woman that's supposed to be an actual reporter for a big organization is actually an AI all along. Human sympathizers and human beings who are extremists claims to want to destroy all augmented human beings, but yet they have augmented people in there working behind in the shadows. Zhao, an organization in China, is secretly doing things to destroy Sarif organization. And then it was discovered she was the one that kidnapped and everything. That the goddamn triads are involved as well. What they have to do with it, I don't know. Or maybe they're just giving my boy to run around and they know everything that's happening. and Saraf himself, the organization, are they really innocent? Even though they have been innocent since the whole time, they're just trying to, understand who the Illuminati is, who these secret organization, whether it's a man, woman, child, group of people, nationality, sex, whether it's one person or a group of people, you don't know. Guess what this game is? Ghost in the Shell, standalone complex. That's why I bought this game, and that's why I'm going to play this game in July. Because if this dude was Makoto, this is basically Makoto, but a male version of Makoto. But not really. He's not fully robotic. He's just augmented. But the story is very political, very psychological, very ethical, very moral, very is God involved? It's everything. And it has a sense of detective work in it. So, this is Mankind Divided. And that was the recap from Human Revolution, the 5th game. And we're now in the 6th game, called Mankind Divided. So I'll continue. So, yes, Deus Ex is badass. Fall was bad. Human Revolution was bad. Go was good. So Deus Ex 1 was good, Deus Ex 2 was good, Deus Ex 3 was bad, Deus Ex 4, which is Go, was good, Deus Ex 5, Human Revolution was bad, and apparently Deus Ex Human Divided, this one I'm playing, is good. But I'm going to see based on demo day if that's true or not. You will only tell if something is good based on your own assessment of things.
Team leader, this is Jensen. I'm on the roof.
Solid copy. Move into the building. The access route you need to block is at the far end of the penthouses. And keep in mind, the direct route might not be the easiest one.
Roger that.
McCready will advise once his team is on the ground. Miller out.
I'm just mucking around right now. I'm mucking around because I need to see the controllers. It's been a minute since I've played Deus Ex. So I'm going to probably die a lot. But this is demo. I gotta know where everything is. This is a stealth game as much as it is an action game. So think Metal Gear, but also think, Die Hard. Metal Gear and Die Hard combined together. So it's McClane, but McClane's stealth. So the game seems to not have a tutorial. That's already bad. If this is your first time playing a Deus Ex, that's not really a good thing. Expecting the player to know these things should be something that's explained per each video game, regardless if it's the 6th or the 7th or the 1st. How to do things. It has aim assist, it has vibration, okay. Inventory management, on or off. So far we're at a good start. We're at a 1. A full 1 because the story isn't very interesting. So that's already, I'm already at a 6. But since they don't have a tutorial in here, I'm back to like a 5.9. Setting seems to be good, just no tutorial. So basically this is like Elden Ring. You gotta learn well, not Elden Ring, this is like Dark Souls. You gotta learn it as you go. That's fine. Circle is nothing, but it'll probably be something. Okay, circle is interacting, no. Square is interacting and picking up things. Like I said, I haven't played Revolution or anything since the first Deus Ex. So this is all new to me. Got it. So that's basically for stealth. Distraction. Pick up objects to distract the enemy. Throw.
Jensen, we're moving through. Oh, fuck!
What's wrong?
The Jinn have got a few Jennies up and running. Gonna have to hack keypads.
Okay. What does this mean? Side rail slot. Firing pattern. I can't access this. I'm pressing R1, L1, so on and so forth. Left, right, up, down. Center D-pad. L3, R3, nothing.
Should enjoy it, McCready. They have colors and shapes. Just remember, red means bad.
Fuck you.
Oh, wait a minute. Up. Stun gun ammo, up. Okay. That's very strange. Sprint this triangle. That's not good at all. Can I change that? Why would they have sprint as the triangle? That makes no sense. Hopefully I can move that. Inventory wheel, holster. That makes more sense. What is sprint? Move. Camera. Sprint is L1. That still doesn't make sense either. That's better than triangle though. Ah, this one makes sense. Standard. Right. Okay, that was supposed to represent the weapon wheel. Yeah. So when I press triangle, it goes into weapon wheel, and it also holsters the weapon. So when your weapon disappears, it's because he put it back in his jacket by pressing the triangle button. Okay. Crouch is circle. Good, good, good. So this is just a demo. I'll probably play this for about an hour. Then this next one, it'll be Mystic Ocean. Demo days, two different games. This game won't be played until July or August of 2023. Just checking it out for the moment. Not sure if it's like Resident Evil where you just move it around and put it on the object and then it combines with it, or if it's something else you have to do. but it's very interesting. It's very detailed. You could examine it. You could see maybe it has the same effect like Resident Evil. You zoom in and then you have to open something. Or maybe it's not at all. I have a feeling it is though. Very good. Very much like Horizon. Each part of the body or part of the equipment must be enhanced. Eyes are augmented eyes, arms, muscles. Assuming based on every kill or every mission complete, get more upgrades. And the currency is Praxis. Are they all Praxis? Are they all individual currencies? Yeah, they seem to all be Praxis. Very good. It even says so on the side: legs, skin, back, arms, torso, eyes, and cranium. The most important aspect for survival will probably be the cranium, and the most important aspect for seeing will probably be eyes, perception, and for endurance and adrenaline to resist dying a lot, probably towards torso. Two out of two for legs is pretty good. It's up there. Shields. Shields aren't good. I'll probably need that a lot if I'm planning on surviving a lot. 2 Praxis. Okay, so brains, eyes, torso, shields are probably the main priority right now. And of course, guns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so these are the utilities I need in order to access certain things or